What's up, Niner fam? My name is JT Magnum. Welcome back to Niner News. The Niners closed out the 2015 season with a win, 19-16, and a nail-biting overtime win in the last game of the season that saw Tomsula punt before the half or before the end of the game when it made me want to punch him in the face. Just a fitting end to our season. The Niners always win and secure a lower draft position instead of grabbing a higher pick, but is what it is. Can't complain. We have the 7th pick in the draft now. We finished 5-11, underachieving to the most part in my belief. Like, I felt the Niners were a lot better team than a 5-11 team. Injuries and not being able to know what you're doing with the offensive line, having an inept offense and an inept offensive coordinator running it. Failures with Colin Kaepernick at quarterback, not being able to read defenses, going to Blaine Gabbert, who just couldn't throw the ball past certain length of field. All put it together with a defense that didn't know what they were doing one week, then the next week played great, then the next week or the next 2 weeks played horrible, and you know how it went all season long, and that's why you get a 5-11 team. The Niners need a head coach now. They fired Jim Tomsula, which I'm very happy about. I feel bad for Jim Tomsula because Jim Tomsula is a really good dude. He's a really good guy. You could tell he's a good guy. He has a big heart, loves the players, loves just football, loves being around football. And you feel bad for a guy like that, but he just wasn't ready. He just wasn't ready to be a coach. And I feel bad because I'm one of his biggest backers. I thought he would do a lot better, but he just couldn't put together a staff that was good enough to be able to run this football team the proper way and get them prepared for game days and make and adjust and do the proper game planning and adjustments you need every day in the NFL life to be able to succeed with get a winning record. And he's just not ready. Hopefully one day down the line he will be. It just won't be for the San Francisco 49ers, unfortunately. But is what it is. I hope Jed York learned from it. I listened to the whole press conference today, and I gotta say, I'm disappointed they didn't let Trent Baalke go, but he stuck with us. Let's just hope and pray that he doesn't screw up the 7th pick in the draft and doesn't screw up the rest of them as well. And now we need to find a head coach. There's a lot of names thrown out there. Chip Kelly's one of them. Chip Kelly actually wants the job, reached out to the 49ers to try to see if he can get the job. Mike Shanahan's another one that reached out. Mike Holmgren's another one that reached out. The two hot ones right now that I hear are Hugh Jackson, from the offensive coordinator from the Cincinnati Bengals, the former head coach of the Oakland Raiders. Went 8-8 in his only season at Oakland and was fired, let go. He was 7-4 at one point. Then they closed out the season 1-4. That's how he ended up 8-8, and they missed the playoffs. Then there's, right now he's doing a pretty good job, obviously, with the Cincinnati Bengals. And then there's, of course, Sean Payton of the New Orleans Saints, who's still under contract on the New Orleans Saints, which that's the kind of thing I don't know about. The Niners want to make a big splash. You want to hire a guy like Payton, and it seems like Payton is the main guy on their radar. I'm not sure, but it just seems like you get that feeling that Payton is the guy. There's also Shaw from Stanford, go figure, where Jim Harbaugh was. And we'll get to Jim Harbaugh in a second because he tweeted out some stuff against Jim Tomsula, and I wasn't happy with that. I thought that was classless by Jim Harbaugh. We'll talk about that in a minute, but there's also the Shaw guy from Stanford, who's very successful at Stanford, a very good coach. He's the son of Willie Shaw, who could have been a great coach in the NFL, but never was given a chance. And I don't know. I don't know who I like. Right now, my favorite, I would have to say, if you give me down to 3 people, I would have to say number 3 would be Hugh Jackson. It would be a tie probably between Hugh Jackson and the Shaw guy from Stanford. Number 2 would be Mike Shanahan. Number 1 would be Sean Payton. I like Sean Payton because I think he's an aggressive coach that can definitely get your guys, riled up and settled in, especially this group of guys. I think he could turn around the Niners faster than anybody else in that, category will be. I think it will take a couple years or 3 years for the other guys, but I think Sean Payton is the kind of guy who will bring the kind of offense and the kind of tenacity on defense with who he will bring in with his staff members to be able to turn this thing around fast. I think the Niners don't lack in talent. I think a lot of people underestimate what the Niners really are in talent, and I think they just needed to be able to utilize them better. Get rid of Eric Pierce for one. That dude needs to go. Why they were infatuated with him this year, I have no clue still. I can't figure it out. But Eric Pierce needs to go. If you didn't see Trenton Brown on the right side of the line dominate, then I don't know, what is going on, because Trenton Brown, he's dominant. He's going to be this guy was a good pickup. If there was one guy that Trent Baalke drafted really well last year, it was Trenton Brown. I mean, he drafted him I believe in the 7th round or so. And this guy, he might be a good right tackle. Anthony Davis is coming back too, by the way. And I think Anthony Davis, if Trenton Brown's in this game, I think Trenton Brown should be the right tackle. Anthony Davis should be the right guard. That's what I think should happen. That's me. That's just my look at it. I think they should convert Anthony Davis to right guard, because he struggled at right tackle at times too. He was beaten off the line of scrimmage a lot too for the 49ers, and I think that he's better suited to be a guard. I think he'd be dominant, especially in the run game, because Anthony Davis was a mauler, if you remember, especially in the run game. So I would think that would be a good position for him. But that's, we'll talk about that as the season goes on, and next year when Anthony Davis does come back, if he does come back. He said he's coming back, so he said it's a definite. So we'll see what happens with that. But he's still in the contract with the Niners, so he'll be able to come right back. But as for head coaches, I think Sean Payton is the guy. I think he's the guy we need to get. The problem is he's under contract. Whether the Saints let him go or not is we'll figure it out, or we'll figure, what's going on or whatever, but he might cost us a draft pick. And I don't necessarily like that. I don't think the 49ers should give a first round draft pick or a second round draft pick for a coach. And I don't like that. Especially with our second round draft pick being like the 37th pick or something like that in the draft. That's the 37th best player in college. You don't want to give that up. You need talent. You need more guys. We need people. We need a wide receiver. We need people. We need a definite, good wideout to help us. And we need a quarterback. We need players. I think we got to stable the running backs. I don't think we need running backs anymore. We need healthy running backs, because I think we got like 16 running backs that all can compete for the job. But I'm obviously exaggerating, but I just mean we have enough running backs, and we have enough tight ends. We have enough people. We just need to draft spots that we need, to fill up holes and to get some more depth on. And I think the Niners will be fine. But it remains to be seen what we're gonna do. But my favorite right now is Sean Payton. We'll see whose jobs open up and who's good to go and who's going to be interviewed. I know one guy I don't want, Chip Kelly. That is not a guy I want in the locker room. That is not a guy I want near our team. And I hope to God that they do not want this guy to come to our team. And I hope to God that they do not pick him up. And that Jed York press conference, he took all the blame on his shoulders, which deservedly so. He deservedly should have taken the blame. Why? Because he messed up. And I'm not saying he messed up because of Jim Harbaugh. That's not what I'm saying. He messed up by hiring Tomsula. Tomsula was not ready. He needed to hire somebody else like Adam Gase, or just somebody else in general, even if it was Mike Shanahan. But he messed up, and he knows it. He's owning it, and I got to give him kudos for that. But still, the fact remains, he messed up. And to me, he's messing up still, leaving Trent Baalke as GM. But I don't know. It seems like Trent Baalke now is on a short leash, which if you go and read the transcript of what Jed York said, or go and watch the transcript, or just watch the press conference on 49ers.com, you'll see what I mean. Trent Baalke's on a short leash. And now Jim Harbaugh. A lot of people are saying Jed York should admit that, he messed up by letting Jim Harbaugh go. No, he didn't. I'm sorry. That's the part where he didn't mess up. Jim Harbaugh was 8-8 in his last year. He wasn't going to do much better with the roster that had this year, especially with all the guys retiring. And there was a lot of guys on that 49er team that did not speak up and did not say, we should have Jim Harbaugh back. There was a lot of guys in that locker room that were very supportive of Jim Tomsula when he came aboard. Jim Harbaugh, and I'll say it again, he ran his players down to the ground. He never played the backups. Those backups never got any play, so that no fresh guys came in the game. He ran his starters to the ground. Those guys beat themselves up for 4 years straight. That's why there was so many injuries, especially in 2000 and and 14, his last season, there were so many injuries because he beat those guys up. Some of those guys just never left the game. They played the whole game. They were so tired. It's amazing what that defense even did, being able to do that from 2011, 2014 to what? That's 4 years straight of just being driven to the ground. And even the Seahawks, other teams with good defenses, they substitute. They rotate guys, fresh guys in here and there. They know what they're doing. The 49ers didn't do that for those years. They did it this year. They didn't do it last year or the last 4 years prior to that. He just so enamored with winning that he would do anything to the players, anybody that got in his way, just to win. And I get it. It's good when you win, but it's not good when you just do your players like that. And on top of that, he never gave the younger players a chance. It just seemed like none of the younger players got a chance unless it was like Eric Reed, who happened to be, they lost their free safety. So Eric Reed came in, they drafted him high pick. He was able to come in and play. I get that part, but he was too conservative on offense. He was just way too conservative on offense. Let Greg Roman run the offense. He picked play. I think actually he picked plays and and overrided some of Greg Roman's plays, and that's why we even got more conservative. It's just I didn't like. Period. I didn't like Harbaugh. I didn't like his ways. I liked the way he argued with the refs constantly and got us in trouble. The refs constantly called calls against us. It was one of those things. So stop saying that Jed York made a mistake with that, because he didn't. We need a better head coach. That's all. Period. Move on. Move on from Harbaugh. He's gone. He's at Michigan. And when Harbaugh tweeted out, you reap what you sow, obviously that was aimed towards Jim Tomsula. And, that was heartless. You want to kick a guy while he's down just because you're successful at Michigan now? You're probably going to leave Michigan, in 2 or 3 years anyways. That's just the way Harbaugh is. It makes no sense to kick a guy when he's down and make a comment like that. It just shows how classist to me Harbaugh was, and I don't play that. I don't like that. I don't think that was even funny whatsoever. It's a grown man losing his job. Yeah, he's getting paid. Yeah, he's got money, but it's messed up that he lost it. He did it. He did, for the most part, for who he is. Jim Tomsula did a good job. For the most part, for who he is. He wasn't prepared to handle this team. He wasn't prepared to do that kind of job. And, it showed. But at the same time, none of those players were complaining. None of those people complained about Tomsula. None of those people, they appreciated Tomsula. They liked Jim Tomsula. And a lot of those players were sad that Jim Tomsula's gone. But they understand it's the nature of the business. They understand that's how it's going to be. And the Niners have to move on. And that's just how football is. That's how the NFL is. I just hope that they find a really good coach, one that knows how to utilize the offense, utilize the offensive line, utilize that defense the correct way, actually play rookies, actually play younger players that are there, that have been there, that need their chance to shine because they haven't been given the chance. It's just, I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing people on the practice squad get taken away. I'm tired of seeing people on Seattle Seahawks that used to be 49ers doing well. I'm tired of seeing people, ex-49ers going to other teams and doing well because they never had a chance to play when they were on the 49ers in the first place. And by the time they were given a chance, they had one good year to shine the Niners, and then they had to go the next year and sign as free agents somewhere else because they were good, a la Delaney Walker. The guy had 94 catches for 1,000 yards. You think we couldn't use that tight end this year? It's just unbelievable how many players the 49ers let go, and they don't give them a chance, and then they let them go, and then boom, it's just torture to watch. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Niners make some good moves. We'll talk about those moves in the future, but let's first see who the head coach is going to be. Let's see who we can look to the draft. I told you my favorite quarterback so far is Paxton Lynch. He didn't have a good bowl game. I saw that Jared Goff obviously threw those 6 touchdown passes in his bowl game. He's a hot commodity, and I don't think the Niners are going to get him. Cleveland's ahead of us. Cleveland needs a quarterback. I think they're going to select Goff first. I think Paxton Lynch will fall to us. But we'll see. Dallas is ahead of us, and I don't see why Dallas would select somebody other than a quarterback either, because Tony Romo's ain't getting any younger, and Tony Romo's always hurt. So the Cowboys might be looking to get a future franchise quarterback too. So look for Paxton Lynch. It might go to them. I don't know if they think Kellen Moore is their guy, but Paxton Lynch might go to them. We'll see. But I if they don't get a quarterback, they don't. I mean, I don't think they should reach. I don't think they should try to reach in the first round for a quarterback. If you want, go in the second round for one then. If there's a second round grade on a quarterback, go for him. But don't try to reach in the first round for a guy that has like third round or second round talent. Hope they don't do that. Balky has a habit of doing that in the first round. He freaking reaches for people that just, Jimmy Ward is one of them. Jimmy Ward had a great season this year, but still, Jimmy Ward is a guy that probably could have gone to us in the second round. We pick him in the first. Jacoby Cart, another guy, probably could have got him in the third round, picked him in the second. It's like, come on, Balky. And they were saying that, maybe teams would have grabbed him. No, they probably would have got him in the third. And they could have picked up Lyle Collins. Didn't pick him up. Ended up being like a crazy Pro Bowler for the Cowboys on that offensive line. I don't know if he's a Pro Bowler, but I know he's definitely was dominant on the offensive line for the Cowboys. They passed up on so many people. I'm tired of them passing up on people and grabbing people that are hurt and shelving them. He's got to stop it. He's got to stop picking people with broken limbs. It's done. It's over. Stop doing it. Pick guys that can play now, not guys that can play next year. We don't need it. Why put them under contract for 1 year, and then they have 3 years to play? They finally make it back. They maybe play a little bit, and then they go off as free agents and be successful somewhere else because we have to sign them to the regular contract because we already wasted a year of their time. Get guys that can play now. You don't want guys that can play later. Guys that can play now. Anyways, let me know what you think. Let me know who you think the head coach should be. Let me know what you think about Jed York's press conference. Let me know what you think about the 49ers season so far, or this year, and what changes you think need to be made. I mean, that pretty much covered all that, but sorry I haven't been around for a couple weeks, but a little busy, but I was a little annoyed too with the Niners, and I just want to see what happened, and I wanted to wait till the last game of the season to do a video anyways, because it was just annoying. So I'm giving you an extra longer video this week. So let me know what you think in the comment section, like I said, and yeah, go Niners. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty excited to see that we're gonna get a new head coach. I just want to know who he is. That's all. And like I said, pray that it's not Chip Kelly. Lord have mercy. Please don't let it be Chip Kelly. All right, for JT Mag Niner News, I'm out. Peace, y'all.